Welcome back to Billy Goat Tales and our motivational mindset series. This is Rich Smothers, otherwise known as Crypto Billy. Today I want to share a story that stuck with me. It's a tale of quiet endurance and unexpected returns. It's about a young man named Zach whose life unfolded in ways that remind us of how the seeds we plant can grow far beyond what we imagine. So let's dive right into it. Picture this. It's 2012, and Zach is just a teenager, wide-eyed and full of curiosity about the world. He's always been the kind of kid who asks questions, who digs deeper into things most people overlook. One evening, he's sitting at the kitchen table with his dad, a hardworking man named Richard, who spent his days as a mechanic, fixing cars and providing for his family the best he could. Zach's older sister, Sarah, is also sitting there with them, listening quietly as she helps with dinner. Zach had stumbled upon this new thing called cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin to be exact. It was buzzing in online forums and this digital gold that promised a different kind of future. "Dad," Zach says, his voice excited but steady, "you've got to hear about this. It's like money that's not controlled by banks, something that could change everything." Well, Richard listened. He really listened. He wasn't one for get-rich-quick schemes. He valued honest work and looking out for his loved ones. But there was something in Zach's passion that resonated. Richard saw the potential, not just for wealth, but for securing a legacy for his family. So he took action. He scraped together $100, a modest sum that back in 2012 could buy a few hundred Bitcoin. He wrote down the seed phrase, that crucial string of words, and he tucked it away in his old leather wallet, the one he'd carried for years. Life went on. Richard continued his routines, teaching Zach and Sarah the importance of showing up every day, of building habits that last, doing the right thing when nobody's looking, keeping your word, all the values that were important to Richard. They shared simple joys, family dinners, walks in the neighborhood, moments of connection that built a quiet bond. But then tragedy struck. Richard passed away suddenly from a heart condition, leaving behind his wife, Denise, and their two children. The grief was overwhelming. In the midst of all of it, the Bitcoin was forgotten, a distant memory overshadowed by such loss. The years that followed were tough. Denise worked 2 jobs to keep the roof over the kids' heads and scraping by in a modest apartment on the outskirts of town. Sarah, now in her early 20s, took on part-time work while pursuing her studies, and Zach pitched in as soon as he could, taking odd jobs after school, then full-time work after graduation. They were poor by any measure, counting pennies for groceries, skipping luxuries most take for granted. Friends and neighbors rallied around them, especially at first, offering meals and support, a reminder that no one gets through hard times alone. But as time wore on, the family leaned on each other, finding strength in small acts of kindness and shared resolve. Through it all, Zach held on to something deep inside, a quiet belief that things could turn around, that their struggles weren't the end of the story. He didn't complain. Instead, he focused on what he could control. He built routines, rising early to exercise his mind and his body, reading books on personal growth, and helping others in his community whenever he could. He volunteered at local shelters, not for the recognition, but because he knew lifting others up lightened his own load. Zach understood people, knew when his mom needed a listening ear or when Sarah was hiding stress behind her determined smile. That awareness guided him, helping him navigate relationships with grace. Denise admired her son's spirit. "You've got your father's heart," she would say, her voice soft with memory. Zach would nod, honoring the man who taught him to stand tall, even when the world pushed back. Sarah, too, carried the same resolve, balancing her own dreams with the family's needs, always ready to lend a hand or a kind word. Zach persisted, taking steps forward each day, no matter how small. Deep down, he trusted that their path had purpose, that the love they shared was a foundation stronger than any setback. One crisp autumn day, nearly a decade later, Denise handed Zach that old leather wallet. "I found this while cleaning out the attic," she said. "It was your dad's. Thought you might want it." Zach took it, feeling the worn edges, the faint scent of oil from his father's workshop. As he opened it, a folded piece of paper slipped out. The seed phrase, scribbled in Richard's familiar handwriting. Memories flooded back. That kitchen table conversation, the spark in his dad's eyes, Sarah looking on with quiet curiosity. Curious, Zach entered the phrase into a wallet app on his phone. What he saw next changed everything. Those few hundred Bitcoin from 2012 had multiplied beyond imagination. Through the years of markets' ups and downs, they'd grown into a fortune worth over hundreds of millions of dollars. The family that had lived in a quiet hardship, in truth, immensely wealthy all along. It was there, hidden in plain sight, waiting to be rediscovered. But here's where the real depth comes in. Zach didn't rush out to splurge or to boast. He sat with it, feeling the weight of what it meant. He called Sarah and Denise together, sharing the discovery. True abundance, he realized, wasn't just in the numbers on the screen. It was in the journey that got them there. The persistence through lean years, the love that held them together, the habits of kindness and self-discipline. Together, they decided to use the wealth thoughtfully. They formed a foundation to support their community, scholarships for kids, resources for families facing losses, and programs to empower others to build their own futures. The story spread quietly at first, then wider, inspiring others in crypto and beyond crypto. It showed how a single act of belief planted long ago with just $100 could bloom into something rare and transformative. In a space often driven by hype and quick gains, it highlighted the value of patience, of emotional wisdom, in handling what life's handing you. As we wrap up this tale, think about the seeds in your own life. The conversations, the choices, the quiet trust you've placed. They might be growing right now. Unseen, but powerful. Thanks for joining me on Billy Goat Tales. If this resonated, please hit the like, subscribe, and share this out. Love to hear your thoughts. Have a great day.